This is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street Today, your media hub for all things Black business and related news, strategy, and events.
Greetings.
So good morning. My name is Blair Durham, for those that I haven't had a chance to meet. I am co-founder and CEO of Black Brand, and I just want to take a moment to talk about our beginning, right? I think about Legacy Day. It was very important for us to be a grassroots organization. And I see a gentleman here who was actually a part of some of those very first meetings that we had in my living room. We knew we wanted to be the Black Chamber of Commerce proper, right? But we also knew we needed to be Black Brand. And so our name is actually an acronym. It stands for Business, Research and Analytics, Networking, and Development. Today's talk has everything to do with the research and analytics portion of our name. We have embarked for the last 6 years on the development of a 150-year plan. That sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Right, 150 years. And I'll tell you, the inspiration for the plan, it came from us taking a look at what municipalities have done, right? When we think about the city of Norfolk, they've known what they wanted this city to become, right? They had to take a multi-generational approach. And so we have been partnering with Virginia Tech for the last 6 years to build out a data dashboard. Our thought was that if we were going to have a 150-year plan, it absolutely needed to be data-driven, and that it needed to connect all of the pillars that inform wealth, right? So the goal of the plan is to narrow the racial wealth gap. That sounds like something, okay, we can just focus on getting money, right? We can just focus on getting money in an account, translating that into wealth. Actually, no. If we think of all of the ways in which that racial wealth gap has been maintained over decades, over centuries, it will require a bit of a different kind of design. And so today we're going to talk about some of those pillars. You've had lots of discussion about health and wellness, right? Certainly our being able to access healthcare systems, our being able to access healthy foods. If we're not here, we're not building wealth, right? That makes sense. So a huge part of this 150-year plan is people and values. And within that, things like the social determinants of health, our food access, food deserts, these are pieces that we are considering. Education is important. We think about the representation issues that we experience in public education. A lack of representation usually translates to poor advocacy, right? We think about the school-to-prison pipeline. There are a lot of things that we need to consider if we're going to build out a plan that helps us to get to wealth. What else? We're going to have some conversation today. In fact, our first conversation is going to talk about the relationship between media and technology. This is an area, I think about it all the time. Less than 1% of venture capital goes to the Black community, right? That's because less than 1% of the new technologies that are being created are coming out of the Black community. And we know that that's by design, right? We don't have access to, the appropriate STEM resources in our schools in order to really crank out the number of scientists and technologists that would be necessary. But that's something that I believe that we can change. Policy and justice is a pillar. We're not going to get too deep into the policy aspect today, and these are just a few of the issues that we deal with, right? Traffic stops. We know that we're much more likely to be stopped driving while Black, right? And other issues. We think about the current landscape. We think about the DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. What does that mean? Is it something that benefited us? Did the last 65 years actually translate to more wealth in the Black community? Most data say no. No, we didn't build more wealth because we had diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. We may have had more awareness. We may have even been making more money, but it didn't necessarily translate to building more wealth. So it's something we've got to be intentional about. I get passionate. Let me go back to my notes. Hold on. Oh, housing, affordable housing. So we'll have a good conversation today, a roundtable style discussion about affordable housing. Does anybody know textbook definition of affordable housing? So I'm going to share it. According to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, your housing is considered affordable if it's less than 30% of your gross income. Anybody want to quickly just pull out their calculator, do the math, determine if your housing is considered affordable? I did the math this morning, and my housing is not considered affordable. My housing costs are 44% of my gross income and 51% of my net income. Right? So what does this look like when we think about our community? Certainly this affordable housing crisis is it's affecting our community more than it's affecting any other community. It's affecting Norfolk, it's affecting Hampton Roads more than it is other parts of the state of Virginia. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about some solutions that the state, that various nonprofits in the region are bringing online for those of you that might have an interest in being a part of resolving that issue, helping to resolve that issue. So my hope is that today's discussion, I'm not surprised by who has shown up. I've always believed that 100% of the work actually only gets done by 20% of the people. If it's not a grassroots effort, it's likely not going to happen. Important people, it's a full-time job being important. They don't have time to do anything else. It's going to take us to get this work done. So I want to thank you for your commitment and really ask that you dig in and engage throughout this day as we hear from these subject matter experts and think about where we are right now in the stream of time, what we want the future to look like for our children, for our grandchildren. It's important what was shared before regarding the Sankofa logo. Sankofa is the most central aspect of Black Brand's logo, and it's intentional. It is not taboo to go back and fetch what you've forgotten. And that means ancient history, that means recent history, that means our personal history. I've taken up journaling just here in the last 6 months because I need to remember what I did yesterday. To be quite honest, if we're not writing those things down and reviewing what our thoughts were, what our experiences were, how likely is it that we're going to translate that into the future that we imagine? One of the elements that's there in that logo is the egg. Derek, have you painted the egg yet? But yeah.
What
You did. No, it's great. It's great. What do we think that egg represents? Absolutely. Why is the egg in the bird's mouth? Any thoughts?
They got birds that move eggs around their mother lifetime. I guess it's nourishment. Nourish something. Take care of it.
Yeah. Anybody want to expound on that? Go a little bit deeper? We've got to tell that story. We've got to speak that legacy into our young people. That's the only way they're going to know who they are. When they turn on the TV, what is it telling them about who they are? When they show up in school, what are the school systems telling them about who they are? It's our responsibility to speak that legacy. Thank you for what you've both shared. Stay with us online, Black Wall Street Today on Facebook and Black Wall Street Today on Instagram, and then follow us on Twitter as well at BWS Today. We look forward to talking again next week. Have a wonderful week. I have said and I will continue to say that the most important priority for the Black community is the Black community, not a particular political party.
Phenomenal. Hey, yo, when I say Black, you say Wall Street. Black Wall Street. When I say Black, you say Wall Street. Black. When I say Black, you say Wall Street. Black. When I say Black, you say Wall Street. Black.
phenomenal.